the thing about Aramaic that lights me up is so incredibly experiential that I can't even really put it into words. It makes sense to me that people take the Bible and they throw it out the window. I'll be honest, most of it is, especially the more I studied about a lot of where it was coming from, shifted, modulated, manipulated. A lot of it's, I won't complete that sentence, but I think you can see where I'm going to with it. But Aramaic has just completely transformed my life, specifically the teachings of Jesus in that original language. We could go into a big discussion about Greek versus Aramaic. That's in tons of my YouTube videos. Go on my website, DaleAllenHoffman.com. I've got my book. I've got tons of audio CDs. I've got a complete Aramaic healing collection. It's like however many, and that goes deeper into all that stuff that we can go deeper in. We can talk about some of that in the second half of my presentation here too. But the thing that really gets me is that I felt like I kept running back into a burning building. I kept going back into, people were like, Christianity, dude, you like feel so transcendent beyond that. Why do you? And I'm like, well, it's what I'm here for. I agreed to do this, to come here, this exact place and time to do this. And it's funny how people think, oh no, you're going to have to somehow and it's like, I don't call myself a Christian. I never called myself a Christian. Because Jesus wasn't a Christian. Christianity is something that was based on some of what he said and a lot of manipulations, okay? There's no reason for me to really carry that. It gets a little scary sometimes, too, when I see people that are calling themselves Christians, the things they say, the homophobia, the transphobia, the racism. 2020, we've been given a great gift, haven't we? 2020 has been just this amazing, beautiful experience. I think it depends on where you're seeing from. If you're looking at the world as it is, and you're looking at an orange-headed monster in a big white house, or what is it David Crosby calls him? I believe he calls him that. Spike Lee calls him Agent Orange. If you're looking at politics, you've lost it. And I'm not saying there's not value in following politics. What I'm saying is, what we're seeing isn't what's real. What's real is what's watching. What's real is what is seeing. Think of some of the things that Yeshua said, in this world, but not of it. So my question is, where are you seeing from? Are you seeing from a character in a play, in a drama that's not actually going on? Funny, Yeshua had little statements about how, as an example in the Gospel of Thomas, first of all, Thomas wasn't written by Thomas. Tomas, is an Aramaic word, Didymus in Greek, that means twin, but it doesn't mean just twin as in twin brother, which is as far as a lot of the scholars can go with that. It actually means mirror image or reflection. In other words, we're so used to this Jesus, let's show you this one, which is not exactly opposite. It's actually a reflection that's going to take you deeper into the nuance of the vibration of what he was really seeking to get across, which is what my work is all about. It's not about just being stuck in stodgy translations. It's about being able to unpack and unfold the deepest possible nuances of what he could possibly be communicating. One of the big mistakes people make is, oh, well, they were all just dumb backwater yokels back then. Well, I'm not really caring so much about what they may or may not have understood, including the disciples. He was constantly saying, y'all are my front line and you can't even stay awake for 5 minutes. They couldn't even get it. Well, a couple of them got it. Unexpected ones, I think, in standard Christianity that I think really got it. But it's amazing to me how all of those misrepresentations happen. And if we had actually just been able to burn it down to its core and stop adding all this ridiculous fluff on top, it would really come in handy right now in 2020. It's all about where you're looking. And in the Gospel of Thomas, where he said that, he said, the heavens and the earth, as you awaken, the heavens and the earth will be rolled up in your presence. Almost like heaven, that ineffable thing that you're not supposed to go to after you die, is somehow right here and right now. And he made statements in the Gospel of Thomas. He made statements like that people are asking like about the end of the world, and he is like, well, what you seek has already happened. It's already expanded across the earth, but nobody sees it. You don't comprehend it. They ask him questions like, can you tell us how our end will come? And his response is like, oh, now you've somehow found the beginning, that you're looking for the end? And he said, blessed is the one who takes their place in the beginning. What does that mean? In the beginning, for they will know the end, and they will not taste death. Not taste death. Wow. What's the beginning? Maybe, just maybe, the beginning is you before you were born. And one other thing he says in the Gospel of Thomas is, when you came into being before you came into being. Blessed is the one who came into being before he came into being. You know what? I've got a neat little tool that's going to help me explain this for you. And here it is. Ooh, people love me for my toys. I always have great toys to be able to explain things. I learn when I'm doing things with children, don't bring the toys out to the end or you'll never talk to them the whole time. You'll never get their attention back. This is something called a Hoberman sphere. Hoberman sphere. You can find it on Amazon. Beware of the cheaper ones that you find at the county fair. They fall apart the first night. The Hoberman sphere is an amazing thing because it is a way of explaining the expansion of consciousness, presence, universe. Wow. I actually have one that's glow in the dark on the tips where you can actually expand it in the dark and it looks really neat. Maybe I'll do a video with that in the future. Follow me on YouTube. It's coming soon. So, blessed is the one who takes his place in the beginning, for he will know the end and will not taste death. Funny that that word beginning in the Coptic, as well as the Aramaic, resh, means the beginning, which means the head. Now, one of the questions I ask people is, if you're at the head of a line, where are you? What part of the line are you at? And it's funny that people in the West tend to say, oh, well, I'm at the beginning. But yet people that I talk to, I do a lot of mentoring with people all across the world, one-on-one Zoom calls on a weekly basis. And the people in the East tend to say, oh, well, the head is the beginning or the end of the line. I was like, ooh, funny how the West, we need to put ourselves up front all the time. Maybe just a little bit of an analogy there. But so the head is not only the beginning of the line, it's what's called the end of the line. So blessed is the one who takes his place in the beginning, for he will know the end, and he will not taste death. Blessed is the one who came into being before he came into being. What does that really mean? To me, obviously, on a really deep level, the came into being is about consciousness. It's about awareness. And even in a deeper level now, it's about presence, as opposed to being physically born. There's a big difference between the two of those. You can be alive and yet dead. When he was often talking about things about the dead, he wasn't just talking about dead bodies in the ground. He was people that were literally the walking dead. Cue the zombies. The people that are walking around completely asleep, not awake in their life. Bless their hearts. This Hoberman sphere, though, is showing me a lot. And if you're not quite getting this, that's okay. You can watch this over and over. And I also say, look at all my other materials. I go so deep into this in so many different videos in my CD programs, etc. But so the one is the many. We tend to get lost in the many. We tend to look at the many as if the world is somehow something to be conquered, something to somehow find our place within, when the truth of the matter is, if you look deep enough, you're not really in the world. You're actually watching it. And that's what we're starting to move toward here. So we're looking at this world with COVID, with all this different stuff happening. And I've been really silent for the last 6 or 7 months. I finally put a video out about a month ago, from the time you'll be seeing this, that was saying, guess what? I've been doing something, becoming ordained with the Alliance of Divine Love, which, it's really changed the openness, I think, of some of what I do, especially with just that one phrase about what is the greatest degree of love. It's huge. So let's think about that. How are we looking at the world? Are we looking at the world as this maniacal chaos, which, it kind of is? Chaos, of course, just meaning we don't see the deeper order. Or are we looking at it with the eyes of love? Are we looking at it with the eyes of that which is cosmic, that which is the direct realization of the true nature of our being on the purest, essential vibrational level? Big mouthful. But there's another thing that Yeshua said, though. He not only in this world, but not of it. In the Gospel of Thomas, they said, well, actually it was him saying, if they say to you, where do you come from? Say, we came from the light. We came from the place where the light became manifest. Manifest is a Latin word In Aramaic, there's several different words he could have used for that, but what manifest actually means is obvious. Where the light became obvious, manifest through their image. And if they say to you, is it you? Are you that one? Say, we are the elect of the living one. We are the expansion, the realization. We are the billions that appear to be walking around separate when in truth there is no separation. There's just the one. You can stand next to a mountain and say, oh, look, a mountain. And then pull a little chunk out of that mountain and say, oh, here's a rock. But that's a mountain. Well, guess what? The rock is the mountain. That's you. You are the one. You're it. Whatever the water is, whatever the ocean is you, but you're a wave in the ocean. People like to say a drop, and a drop is nice. But you're not even the division of a drop. You're literally the wave. You're the formation. You are that pure vibrational essence of the undivided. That's you. That's you. And it's funny because we really get lost in that. You know, people are obsessed about where the world's going. Is this the end of the world, the apocalypse, apocalypsis in Greek, Giliana in Aramaic, which just means unveiling. That's all that means. It just means the unveiling. This is exactly where we're supposed to be. We chose to be here at this exact moment in time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We chose to be here to navigate the cosmic shift. We chose to be here to not necessarily keep the train on the tracks, but to enable ourselves to see through any of those misperceptions we have in this darkened theater called human life, of thinking that this is really somehow going to affect our deepest essential nature of light. It's not. It's untouched. Who you are is untouched by this world. The world, it's amazing when you do get back into that deeper level of seeing. And what's a great way of doing it? We just did it a few minutes ago. Really deep breath in through the nose. Hold that in the body temple just a few moments and out through the mouth. Yeshua was asked in the Gospel of Thomas also, what is the sign of the living one within you? And he said it is movement, the expansion of the sphere, and rest or repose. It's